The unsolved mystery of the Amazon River dolphin attack. In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, nestled among the curving waterways of the mighty Amazon River, there exists an animal species that possesses a captivating enigma: the Amazon River dolphins. With over 500 pounds of sleek bodies, streamlined for swift movement through the water, they epitomize grace and beauty. But beneath this serene and friendly facade lies a hidden darkness and aggressiveness, with strength and speed that rivals the mightiest predators of the Amazon. These mysterious salt and freshwater dwellers are not the friendliest of creatures. Adorned with a glistening gray or pinkish hue, their powerful tails are built to propel them as fast as 25 miles an hour and armed with about 100 sharp teeth for grabbing prey. Their large, intelligent eyes are capable of seeing even in the murkiest depths of the river. This is the story of the Amazon killer dolphins. Our story takes us to the northern part of South America in Brazil. The popular Ique River finds its source in the Amazon River and lies next to a peaceful village known as Manaca. Manaca, which means serenity in the local indigenous language, was once a harmonious community thriving amidst the lush greenery and abundant wildlife in the tropical rainforests. The village demonstrates a close connection between the indigenous people and the natural world that surrounds them. The inhabitants of Manaca belong to the Enoene Nawe tribe, a close-knit community known for their deep respect for the river and its bountiful offerings. Traditionally, the Enoene Nawe people are skilled fishermen, relying on the river's resources for their feeding and livelihood. Fishing is not only their occupation, but also an integral part of their tradition and culture. Passed down through generations, Manaca was a place where laughter echoed through the pathways, where children played freely along the riverbanks, and where the bond between villagers felt unbreakable. But all of that changed in an instant when the tranquility was shattered by an unthinkable incident: the first case of gruesome death by an unknown wild animal. The discovery of the torn body of Ako Empa, a popular fisherman near the shores of the Ique River, came as a shock to the community. It was a bloody scene, with shreds of his back skin dangling out, disclosing internal tissues. He died, not just from the severe bites and dislocated right arm, but also from loss of blood. His body was buried after proper inspection to ascertain the possible causes of his death. There were little to no cases of predators that could inflict this type of injury in the rivers, so the inhabitants of Manaca were at sea on what the creature could be. They decided that it was one of those accidents that occurred once in a while, with the understanding that the rainforest does harbor a good variety of wild animals. It was enough consolation, and everyone went about their lives again. As dawn broke over the Amazon River, the inhabitant of Manaca noticed something different in the rivers, something that rarely happened and certainly sparked their curiosity. They noticed a pod of dolphins swimming in groups and occasionally taking leaps into the air and landing with a huge splash in the running rivers. It greatly amused the villagers as they were unfamiliar with these friendly-looking and entertaining creatures. The dolphins began a daily ritual, patrolling their new territory with unwavering determination. They would glide effortlessly through the currents, their muscular bodies propelling them swiftly and silently. They were graceful, calm, and looked completely harmless, so the villagers entertained themselves by engaging these beautiful water animals by throwing objects to disperse them. But little do the inhabitants of the Amazon villages know that these graceful creatures hold a secret that will plunge them into a realm of terror. Barely 2 days after the sighting of the majestic dolphins, who seemingly made the river their new dwelling and breeding ground, an accident occurred which would bring fear and terror into the minds of the villagers. One of the village maidens went down to the river alone to do some laundry at the bank of the river. While she was tending to her laundry, one of the clothes drifted beyond her reach into the flowing river. The maiden, alarmed at her oversight, dived into the water after her piece of clothing. The current took the cloth further down the river faster than she could swim. She paused in the middle of the river helplessly as her cloth spiraled down the flowing river. Just then, she was knocked off her feet by something under the water. She fell into the flowing river and was completely submerged. She struggled to get to her feet in order to swim back to shore, but Something sharp clamped down on her thighs while something extremely heavy kept nudging her deeper and deeper into the water. She fought for her life as she thrashed around and clawed to free herself from her underwater captor, whose teeth were so deep in her thigh that she felt her thigh bone crack with her blood, altering the color of the murky brown river to a reddish hue. As she struggled for air, the weight of the predator kept her submerged. The fight for survival only had one ending. She finally gave in to the strength of the water assassin. It was a clean and untraceable kill. The body of the maiden washed up at the shores, and as expected, it was difficult to determine the cause of her death. There were no witnesses, and her injuries were non-specific. Anything could have been responsible. The rainforest was home to millions of animal species, so once more, the killer dolphins evaded suspicion. As the villagers grapple with the unknown, they are filled with wild predictions and speculation. Some attribute the attacks to supernatural forces, weaving tales of malevolent spirits seeking vengeance upon those who dare to encroach upon their sacred river. Others turn to ancient legends, connecting the assaults to mythical creatures lurking beneath the murky depths. About 2 days later, the villagers were filled with shock and disbelief as they discovered the remains of a victim on the shores of the river, just as they did the previous ones. The scattered body parts bore an uncanny resemblance to one of their own, Yano, a well-known and respected fisherman of Manaka. Fear gripped the community, transforming their once happy lives into a living nightmare. The clues left behind by the predator sent shivers down their spines, igniting speculation and panic within the village. The peaceful village of Manaka now stood on the precipice of uncertainty, its people battling with the harsh reality that their serene existence has been shattered by this rude awakening. The Nawe tribe, who once reveled in the beauty and abundance of the Amazon River, now faced an unknown threat lurking in the depths, threatening the very fabric of their existence. These events made it difficult for people to venture close to the river. The elders deliberated on what should be done, and all water-related activities such as fishing were placed on hold until there was a solution to the problem. Some people suggested that the dolphins in the river were responsible for the attacks. This suggestion was quickly followed by spiritual versions of why these dolphins had decided to come at this particular time. Some believed they were ancient spirits that are here to inflict punishment and justice on evildoers, while others believed that they were supernatural creatures who required human sacrifice in one way or another. Either way, there was no conclusive reason as to why their gods took the shape of these creatures. Amid this confusion, what followed next was unforeseen. The heavy rainfalls became heavier, and thunderous storms became more frequent. The calm currents of the Amazon River grew tumultuous. The riverside village of Manaka, where the Nawe tribe thrived, experienced exponential growth in the rise of their rivers. Other lowlands were filled with water and formed tributaries to the river. This provided the opportunity for the river to stretch further. The village was literally waterlogged and surrounded by a large mass of water. The sense of danger grew as the people understood one thing. The predator was now closer than before, and it was only a matter of time before the next victim would be taken. In the following days, the attacks continue unabated as Joao, a skilled hunter, a father, and a beloved member of the village, becomes the next victim as he is found lying near the shores with teeth wounds. He had bled out after a horrific attack. Joao is a courageous man and wasn't one to be dissuaded from going about his profession just because there was an aggressive creature in the water. He had embarked on his routine fishing expedition, brimming with confidence. He knew his way around the river, and he believed that no ancestral curse or spirit could dampen his day. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, Juan's life was tragically cut short. His disfigured remains were discovered entangled in his fishing net, a haunting testament to the gruesome power of the killer dolphins. Another victim, Maria, a gentle-hearted woman known for her love of the river and her nurturing spirit, falls victim to the relentless onslaught of the killer dolphins. Maria was a spirit medium and could communicate with unseen forces. She believed that she could intervene with the will of the spirits and decided to perform a cleansing that would hopefully bring the bloodlust of the spirits to an end. She had been bathing in the river, seeking solace in its cool waters, when the dolphins struck with a ferocity that defied their usual demeanor. Her body, torn and lifeless, was found washed ashore. The outcry that followed was reverberating. The people of the community were thrown into panic with mourning and declarations of doom. It was unheard of that the spiritual guide encountered a challenge that they couldn't solve, let alone be consumed in its carnage. News of the killer dolphins soon captured the attention of Dr. Emma Reynolds, a renowned marine biologist with a deep fascination for dolphin intelligence. Driven by her passion for understanding the complexities of marine life, she dedicated her life's work to studying the behavior and cognitive responses of dolphins. Dr. Reynolds, having previously written a book on the intelligence of dolphins, recognized the urgency of the situation in Manaka. Intrigued by the reports of the killer dolphin attacks, she assembles a team of experts and travels to the village to investigate the underlying causes. Upon arrival, Dr. Reynolds and her team immerse themselves in the narrative, listening attentively as the head of the village explained how it all unfolded. They witness firsthand the lingering fear and anguish that have gripped the indigenes of Manaka, along with the scars left on the survivors and the mournful atmosphere that pervades the village. Driven by scientific curiosity and a desire to protect both humans and dolphins, Dr. Reynolds and her team embark on a meticulous investigation. They study the river's ecosystem, examining changes in water levels, currents, and the interaction between the sea and the river. Their efforts yield a breakthrough. They discover that due to a rise in water levels, a path has formed where the sea now joins with the river. This unique convergence has created a gateway for the killer dolphins to venture into the once peaceful river, drawn by territorial instincts and the need to hunt. The realization of this crucial connection fills Dr. Reynolds and her team with a mix of awe and concern. They uncovered a pivotal piece of the puzzle, shedding light on the previously unknown dynamics of the killer dolphin attacks. This still did not explain why the dolphins attacked humans. Armed with their scientific equipment and an unwavering determination, the team of scientists ventures out into the Amazon River, ready to unearth the clues that may shed light on the horrific murders haunting the village of Manaka. The scientists, after studying the behaviors of the dolphins for over a week, discovered that the killings were not motivated by hunger or survival, as there were no threats or shortage of food. The bodies of the victims bore signs of calculated brutality, as if the predator was engaging in the act for sport rather than sustenance or survival. Limbs severed, torsos torn apart. It becomes apparent that the killer dolphins have embarked on a merciless killing spree without reason or provocation. As the relentless rainfalls subside and the once peaceful village of Manaka begins to breathe a collective sigh of relief. The attacks by the killer dolphins mysteriously ceased, bringing with it a sense of hope for the community. The villagers insist that the spirits have shown mercy and forgiven their transgressions, while the scientists are still baffled by the mystery behind the sudden aggression of these compassionate creatures. With their research drawing to a conclusion, the scientists prepare to return home. Unfortunately, fresh tragedy ensues as the lifeless body of a young girl within the age of 11 is found a few meters from the river. It was clear that the gods were not done yet, and neither were the killer dolphins of the Amazon River. How could creatures known for their compassion and grace become relentless killers? What underlying factors, whether known or unknown, lie at the heart of this transformation? What was triggering these dolphins? Let us know your thoughts on this issue. Thanks for watching.